Hello, I'm Elton Robinson with your September 2nd grain and oilseed update. The good news this week is that Tropical Storm Hermine is not headed toward Louisiana, which is still recovering from the devastating effects of excessive rainfall and flooding. The bad news is that as I'm filming this report, Thursday, September the 1st, it's headed my way. Actually, I'm on the far west edge of the tropical storm's projected path, and if it stays that way, we're not likely to see much other than a lot of rain and perhaps some winds approaching 50 miles an hour. Rest assured, I'm stocking up on water, batteries, flashlights, and food. After the storm crosses Florida, it's expected to travel through parts of Georgia and the Carolinas, again packing 50 to 60 mile an hour per hour winds. By the time this report comes out, we'll know a little more about the impacts on cities and communities and agriculture, and we'll discuss them next week. Let's move on to reports from exporters for the week ending August 25th. Wheat exports of 594,000 metric tons were up 5% from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. Destinations include Brazil, the Philippines, China, Guatemala, and Mexico. Corn exports of 1.46 million metric tons were up 40% from the previous week and 22% from the prior 4-week average. Primary destinations included Mexico, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, and Algeria. Grain sorghum exports of 145,000 metric tons were up noticeably from the previous week and 33% from the prior 4-week average, mainly because China got back into the market, taking 143,000 metric tons. Other customers were Mexico, Indonesia, and South Korea. Rice exports of 79,000 metric tons were reported to Venezuela, where citizens are going to desperate measures just to put food on their tables. Japan, Costa Rica, Jordan, and El Salvador were other importers of rice. Soybean exports of 1.2 million metric tons were up 55% from the previous week and 38% from the prior 4-week average. Primary customers included China, Germany, Indonesia, Italy, and Mexico. Soybean meal exports of 178,000 metric tons were up 38% from the previous week and 27% from the prior 4-week average, with the Dominican Republic, Peru, Mexico, and Guatemala among customers. Soybean oil exports of 12,500 metric tons were up 18% from the previous week, but down 37% from the prior 4-week average. The Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Canada were customers. Beef exports of 13,800 metric tons were down 1% from the previous week and 4% from the prior 4-week average. Pork exports of 18,000 metric tons were up 4% from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. Well, that's it for this week's report. Let's keep our thoughts on the folks who are in the path of Hermine. And as for me, rest assured, I'll be keeping my head down. So I'm Elton Robinson. We will see you next week.